So often women are like, "Oh, what do I do? I'm going to go. I know I'm going to have drinks. I love chips and salsa. Da, da, da." We're worried about all these other ancillary things where I'm like, don't worry about that. Keep protein pacing. Protein pace. They notice that their cravings go way down, their energy goes way up, they sleep really, really good, and they just overall feel better mental clarity and everything. And it comes from getting that protein in and starting your day and pacing it throughout the day so that you're not getting to the end of the day and feeling like, oh my gosh, I haven't gotten enough protein in today. Now I'm going to try and overload my system with protein, blah, blah, blah. Hey there, welcome to the Female Health Solution podcast, where we discuss women's health, hormones, and everything else in between. Join me as we dive into the tools that you need to live your healthiest life. What is protein pacing? Why is this important? Why do we need to do this? Is this something to continue to do? This sounds difficult. Yeah, this sounds difficult. It is not. We're going to talk about protein pacing, the benefits, and how to apply it easily into your day. It does take just a little bit of planning, but you can utilize some certain tools to make sure that you're filling some of these gaps and easily getting through your day with protein pacing. I promise you, even after just a week of doing protein pacing, you are going to notice a huge difference. So let's jump in. I am Dr. Beth Westy, women's health and hormone expert, host of the podcast. I was going to say author of the podcast. That's not right. Host of the podcast, The Female Health Solution, which we're here, we're doing it, right? And protein pacing. I talk about nutrition for the female body and specific things that can really help. I love giving tools, quick tips, all this stuff to help, and then also information that really targets the why behind the what. You know what I mean? Sometimes for women, the way our brains work differently than the male body. It's so helpful to know the why behind the what. When someone says, do this, eat like this, hydrate this way, you're like, okay, I can, but why? Why? It's understanding why that's going to help us do this. So I'm going to talk about protein, how to do it, because it's pretty simplistic. I'm going to break it down in a very simple way. And I'm going to give you a reference as well. If you're like, how do I know more about this? Or is there other resources out there? Of course there are. I have so many resources and books and things. I have a huge library. I love to read, love to read. So one of my favorite books on protein pacing is called The Protein Pacing Diet by Dr. Paul Arciero. The cover of his book is literally a picture of him. It's not like a fancy cover or anything, but you can find it on Amazon. There you go. If you're wondering more about that, or if you're like, how do I get more information on this, or how do you guide me through this? You know where to go. You know where to look. In the links, in the resources, click that link, get on the wait list, learn how to do this specifically for your body, right? Because what we're going to talk about right now is general information about how to protein pace. How you protein pace is literally getting in protein throughout the day. Protein throughout the day, paced at an even rate. So for those people who are like, oh, I don't eat until noon, that's how I keep my body healthy. No, I'm so sorry. That is slowing down your metabolism overall. You want to get protein in within the first 30 to 60 minutes of the day. When you wake up, some type of protein. It is also really helpful if it is a complete protein, right? When we talk about proteins and breaking it down, there are proteins come from amino acids. You have essential and non-essential. Essential meaning you have to get it from your diet, because non-essential your body makes, right? We'll talk about that also in just a minute. But to get in the protein, you want to start in the morning. You want to start soon after you wake up. If you're like, oh my gosh, I can't get in food, we'll talk about that too. But get up within 30 minutes to an hour, get protein in. And if you're thinking, okay, well, like how much? At least 20 grams of protein, at least. I eat more than that. Just so you know, I eat more than that. I eat 35, 40 grams of protein in the morning. I'm also 6'2", 6 feet 2 inches tall. Yes, I am an Amazon of a gal. I am so tall. If you ever see pictures of me on social media next to other people, you'll be like, oh my God, she is tall. That's the number one thing I hear when I meet people in person and they see me talk. They're like, oh my God, you are so tall. Yes, I tell you this all the time. I'm super tall. So I get more protein in so that I can increase my total protein for the day. But just to start, if you're just starting, and especially if you have a sensitive stomach, 20 grams of protein. How do you do that? I mean, Um, you can go through like Greek yogurt, cottage cheeses, right? Dairy products are easy to do that. My favorite way, especially if you have a sensitive stomach, is through protein shakes, right? This is a plant-based shake and it has 24 grams of protein per serving in it. Boom, there you go. Easy way to start your day. I add greens to mine. I'll add collagen to it, all that stuff. And we'll talk about different types of protein and making sure you're getting a complete nutrient protein as well. So easy way to start your day is with a shake. There. So if you wake up and have a shake, say you wake up at 6 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, you're having a shake. Now say you don't start work till 9, right? But you're like, okay, I'm going to wake up. Wake up at 6:30. Let's say you have a shake. Okay, great. Now within 2 to 3 hours, you need to be having more protein. So let's say 2 hours. So you wake up, you have your shake at 6:30, easy peasy. Then you go do a workout of some kind. You work out, you shower, you get ready for your day. And then 8:30, you're eating breakfast, food. You're having eggs, right? And maybe you're having a couple of eggs with a half a cup of cottage cheese to get more protein in, right? So a couple of eggs, that's about 12 grams of protein. You're adding half a cup of cottage cheese. That's another 10 grams of protein. You're getting over 20 grams right there. Boom. That's your second meal, 8:30. Now you work for several hours. Then you get to, you work for several hours. It's 11:30. It's time for lunch, right? Your typical lunch is, let's say, a wrap. You're going to have a chicken Caesar wrap for lunch. You just want to make sure you have enough chicken, right? At least 4 to 6 ounces of chicken to make sure you're getting at least 20 grams of protein, right? Boom. There you go. That's your third one at 11:30. Now, here's where a lot of other people miss out as well, is the other source of protein in the afternoon before dinner. Sometimes people are running around, you're getting done with work, there's kids involved, there's activities and whatnot. And you're like, oh, I ate earlier, or oh, I'm hungry, or I need a snack. And so you're having some type of carrot or hummus or something. Oh, there's some protein in there, right? Not really. There's like 2 grams of protein per serving. Not that much protein. So instead, utilize a protein bar. My favorite are RAR bars, RAWR. Again, I can send you the link. Just send me a message. I'll share with you my favorites, right? RAR bars they're plant-based and they are organic and they have 20 grams of protein per bar. Right there. RAR bar, because now it's 11:30. You ate that chicken Caesar wrap, we'll say. Now it's 2:30. Right? So 2 o'clock, even 2:30, something like that. You're having more protein. There you go. Now, say you're not going to eat dinner until 6:30. Should you have something else? Yes. Right? Yes, you should have something else, a little snack, or make sure that you're getting enough protein in to sustain you. But then by the time dinner time comes around, say you're having steak or whatever, right? For dinner. Most of the time people get enough protein for dinner. Dinner is usually not the problem. But that would be then the last meal that you're having that you have to get 20 grams of protein. Now, if you have 20 grams when you wake up, right, at 6:30, 8:30 or 9, right, you're having eggs and cottage cheese. That's another 20 some grams of protein. You're having some type of wrap or whatever. Maybe it's a tuna salad or whatever it is, right? A can of tuna right there. Like that's 20 grams of protein, easy. Protein bar, that's 20 grams of protein. And then your dinner, at least 20 to 30 grams of protein right there. You're easily getting over 100 grams of protein. That is protein pacing. That's what it is. Making sure that you're getting it. Where people miss is they're missing, and you'll notice that pretty much all you have to do is add a shake in the morning and a protein bar in the afternoon, right? A shake in the morning, a protein bar in the afternoon, and then make sure your breakfast and lunch are boosted with more protein, which you can easily do. Again, if your lunch is light on protein, have a cup of Greek yogurt. Have, yogurt and berries, yogurt and pineapple. Oh, that is so good, right? So whatever you're eating, if you're like, yeah, I have a sandwich, I'm not sure that there's that much protein. It's like a turkey and cheese sandwich or something. And you actually look and you're like, yeah, there's 15 grams of protein with the food that I have. Okay, right? That's fine. This is where you add the yogurt and fruit. That's going to boost your protein. Oh, I have eggs in the morning. Great. Have 2 eggs and 2 egg whites. Have eggs and chicken sausage or something. Like add protein to that. It will boost it and you will notice a difference. You may notice your digestive system changes. You may notice you feel full longer. You may notice like, oh my gosh, I'm not really feeling as hungry for my bar in the afternoon. I don't care. Eat it. Eat the bar, right? You should be trying to eat about every 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours throughout the day, no longer. You want to fuel your protein intake. Now, when people say, "Oh, that's bad for your blood sugars," da 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 da, da, it's actually helpful for your blood sugars because it's going to keep your blood sugars even, especially if you are someone who is under stress. And I'm talking to you women out there who are so busy and working constantly and all this stuff, that when your body's under stress, it needs more energy and it will crave carbs if it runs out of energy. So by getting protein in regularly, you're actually kind of short stopping that and getting that constant fuel and energy in. Very exciting. And it's also going to get you enough protein to help rebuild your muscle tissue. Yes. So that's what protein pacing is, right? Easy way to do it. I just described it. This is what I recommend to women all the time. Women who work with me, like this is, right? I'm just throwing it out there. If you do exactly what I just said, and you're like, oh my gosh, this was amazing, fantastic. If you're like, okay, this isn't working for me because of this, or I have a hard time with that, or how would I navigate this? Go in the links, click that link, get on the wait list, right? Get started with working on this stuff with me because it makes all the difference in the world. You're never going to worry about, oh my gosh, what about this diet or what about that or blah, 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 right? That's not it, right? That's not it. That's not where you need to focus. I worked with someone, no joke. I've talked about stories before, and I've told the story about this gal who went to Italy with her mom and her sister. And she was worried about what she was going to eat, what she was going to do, all these things. I gave her some specific parameters, told her to protein pace, all this stuff. She lost 3 pounds while in Italy for 10 days, eating whatever she wanted, right? Whatever she wanted. She didn't feel like she had to hold back. She didn't go somewhere and not eat because she felt like she couldn't eat, right? And her mom and sister gained 8 and 10 pounds. And they were like, how? A big key piece is protein pacing, right? Another gal I worked with, and this is, I've heard the same exact story multiple times from women going on vacation, right? I live in Minnesota, right? So oftentimes when people vacation, they're going to a warm climate like Cancun or something. Very popular destination here. For those of us in the winter, as I'm saying this, let me look. So it is -3 right now, people, as I'm recording this. Do you see this? Can you see this? -3 on my phone. Ridiculous. Sorry, I'm not mad. It's fine. Anyway, so often women are like, oh, what do I do? I'm going to go. I know I'm going to have drinks. I love chips and salsa. Da, da, da. We're worried about all these other ancillary things where I'm like, don't worry about that. Keep protein pacing. Protein pace. They notice that their cravings go way down, their energy goes way up, they sleep really, really good, and they just overall feel better mental clarity and everything. And it comes from getting that protein in and starting your day and pacing it throughout the day so that you're not getting to the end of the day and feeling like, oh my gosh, I haven't gotten enough protein in today. Now I'm going to try and overload my system with protein, blah, blah, blah. The reason why protein pacing is so helpful is that it allows you to build up the amount of protein without consuming it all at once. Your body can only absorb so much protein at once. So if you're trying to get in 60 grams of protein in one meal, your body's going to have a super hard time breaking it down, processing, and actually absorbing and utilizing all that protein, right? It just really tough. Now, I mentioned earlier stress and how proteins are made in the body and why your body needs all these proteins. So you have essential and non-essential amino acids that brings together and makes a protein, which are essential for muscles and everything else. Your body will make some of those amino acids, about half, right? So you have to get the other half from food. Makes sense, right? To have it be complete. However, if your body is under stress, it will not make the half that it's supposed to make. Which means you need to make up the difference with external sources of those amino acids, getting well-rounded variety of proteins, which leads me to sources of protein. Not all proteins are created equal. Plant-based proteins are valid and everything else, but you need to make sure you're getting in a variety of those external plant-based proteins. Why? Because it needs to be a complete protein. Animal proteins are complete. steak, chicken, right? All that stuff. It's a complete protein. It has all the amino acids that you would need. So if you're under stress, that's one of the best things you can do is go to an animal source of protein. Again, I'm not saying that you can't, be plant-based and have this work. You just have to really get a good variety of beans, legumes, nuts, seeds, all that stuff, grains to round out those types. And if you eat kind of the same basic foods as a vegan or vegetarian, you're not going to get the variety. You have to be really diligent about the variety of plant-based. And then you can do it and then it's totally fine, right? But when we're looking at animal-based proteins and everything else, getting in those proteins, supplementing, and having it be complete, that's really important. I'm going to mention collagen here really quick because that's often a question I get. What about collagen? I use collagen. I put it in my coffee. Great, right? You can add 10, 12, 15 grams of protein to your total for the day, but collagen by itself is not a complete protein. It would need to be added. So what I do, again, is I will take my shake and add collagen to it to boost it total. So I'm getting the completes and I'm getting it boosted. So this is 24 grams, and then I'm adding in another 15 of collagen. Beautiful. Beautiful. 35 right there. Boom. Easy way to get that in first thing in the morning. It's going to change so much for you to get that starting off. Honestly, it's one of my favorite things. Now, again, this is where I say it takes a little bit of planning. It takes a little bit of planning because you have to have the stuff on hand. Don't run out of your shakes. Don't run out of bars. And then have little extra tools like cottage cheese, Greek yogurts, things like that to boost it. Nut butters and stuff can also be helpful. I'll take a protein bar and I'll put nut butter on it, hemp seed. Those are things to help boost protein. But it's not difficult to do once you start doing it. And again, the benefit is incredible. So start protein pacing, start now, go in the links, click that link, get on the wait list, learn how to do this for yourself. And I can't wait to see where this takes you. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Let me know if you need any help or guidance. But this is one of the best things that you can start to implement for your health, for your energy, for your hormones, for your stress levels. Oh my gosh, protein is the number one nutrient I find that women are really not getting. Start getting it. Start getting it today. Right meow. All right. That's what I got for you today. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you need anything else. That is what I am here for. I love doing this. I love talking about this. And I'll see you guys later. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. If you would like more information, just head on over to drbethwesty.com for all the show notes and information from today's episode. And if you're looking for more community, more support, you can find and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and I would love to see you there.